problematic is this announcement from the Wagner group about what's happening on the front lines for Russia?
Well, I think if we take a look at what's happened in Bakhmut over the past few months, it has been an absolute meat grinder on both sides. Candidly, I happen to agree with Evgeny Prigozhin on this one. His troops have been left out there to fight the toughest fight there has been up to this war. And candidly, if they don't have the food, water, ammunition they need, any good commander on the ground would be making these same kind of complaints, whether he is a civilian mercenary or a uniformed officer.
So if he does, in fact, pull out his troops, how does that impact the front line?
Well, again, I think we overstate the importance of Bakhmut. It's more of a psychological victory for one side or the other than a strategic victory. Whoever takes Bakhmut will be able to thump their chests, but it's really not going to change the course of the war. This is very interesting that it's coming on the heels. In a few days, we'll see the Russian victory parade that they celebrate every year. I think they're finding a very, very vulnerable time for the Kremlin to be making these claims. And if I was the Kremlin, I'd be answering those claims quickly.
Right. And to your point, that victory parade or the celebration set for next week will look a lot different. What do you make of the timing of this drone over the Kremlin and some of the back and forth of blame?
Well, I think that it's really too early to point fingers. I mean, there are clearly a couple of options. Most analysts right now and most intelligence coming out right now would indicate this was probably what we call a false flag operation. Look, the popular support for this war in Russia is waning. Victory Day is coming up. The Russian people need to be energized to continue to support this war. What better way than to attack by Ukraine into their Pentagon/White House at the same time? What a great propaganda victory if Putin can convince his people that this was done by the Ukrainians. That probably gets about another 6 to 12 months of war out of them.
What do we know right now about the situation in Russia? How much footing does Putin have with the Russian people and support?
Well, I think we overstate the amount of disapproval inside of Russia. The Russian people are, in the main, supportive of this war. The propaganda that has been sent out inside of Russia, that's been broadcast in Russia, painting this as another fight against the Nazis, that resonates deeply in the soul of the Russians. So they are supportive, but like every other civilian population, that support needs to be energized every few months. And what a perfect way to do this than a attack on the Kremlin.
Your recent op-ed caught our attention, General, and in it you say a counteroffensive needs 3 things to happen for it to be successful. What are those?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because many people are suggesting that this is how they will succeed. What I'm really saying is this is what they must do for this to be considered a success. The first is there needs to be a decisive defeat of the Russian forces. And decisive means that there is clearly a pushback of the Russian forces and a large number of casualties to demonstrate to the Russian people that they will not win this war and start turning that public support against Putin. A decisive victory would also energize the West. The West is getting impatient with Ukraine. They're not seeing any progress on the ground. They want to see a return on the investment, these millions and billions of dollars that we've been spending. And third, we've got to look at a counteroffensive as not the end of the war, but much like a pool shot on a pool table. You not only want to sink the first ball, but be ready to sink the next balls. So I don't think that we're going to be pushing Russia out of Ukraine with this counteroffensive, but it puts them physically and on the ground owning key terrain for them to conduct those follow-on shots of the pool ball and sinking of the pool ball. If they've got to get into a position where this offensive lets them continue the fight either north into the rear of the Russian lines or south into Crimea. If they achieve those 3 things, a decisive victory that energizes the West, depresses Russia, and puts them in a better place for the next fights, then I think that will be a success.
And you don't think that happens in 2023?
I don't think overall victory happens in 2023. There's a lot of fight left in the Russians. They're in a defensive position, which means that it's much harder to uproot them from those positions. I sure hope I'm wrong, but history would say that this is not going to be the year of total victory.
I always learn a lot in our discussions. Great to see you, General Mark Kimmitt. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.